As you sail through the shimmering expanse of the Astral Sea, the ethereal glow of distant stars reflects off the polished hull of your Spelljammer. The gently undulating nebulae around you paint the void in hues of violet, cerulean, and gold. Ahead lies an ancient crystalline fortress adrift in the cosmic currents, its spires twisting upwards like jagged claws. In the helm room, the sigils that power the ship's arcane navigation pulse rhythmically, casting an otherworldly light across your faces. You feel a sudden pull, as if the fortress itself beckons your approach. Captain Thalar, a mind flayer with a surprisingly genial demeanor, turns to you, his tentacles twitching slightly. The fortress. It speaks of ancient secrets and perhaps lost treasures. Do we dare explore within? His voice echoes telepathically in your minds, filled with both curiosity and caution. The Spelljammer slows to a halt.
With fiery determination in my eyes, I ignite a small flame on my fingertip and grin. We dare, Captain. Those secrets won't uncover themselves.
I grunt and squint suspiciously at the crystalline fortress. Fine, but keep your wits about you. No telling what traps lie within. I ready my shield and hammer, eyes scanning the surroundings for any signs of ambush.
I chuckle and spring to the deck, already eyeing the crystalline spires for potential entrances. A treasure hunt in the stars? Count me in. I then slip into the shadows, scouting ahead for traps or hidden pathways.
I step forward, my eyes locking onto the twisted spires of the fortress, and murmur. The fortress calls to us from the abyss, where secrets and shadows intertwine. I cast augury to seek an omen from Kelemvor about the outcomes of our exploration.
As you approach the crystalline fortress, the faint outline of a shimmering entrance becomes visible. Pyra's flame casts flickering shadows across the translucent surface. Thoradin's cautious advance is only matched by Wisp's seamless blending into the shadows, and Seraph chants invocations to Kelemvor, seeking guidance from the divine. Suddenly, the crystal shards around you quiver and detach from the fortress, coalescing into a swarm of crystalline serpents, each glinting with malevolent intent. Captain Thalar's voice pierces through the telepathic link, urgent and firm. "Defend yourselves, for these guardians of the fortress shall show no mercy." The serpents lunge toward you, their razor-sharp edges glinting in the astral light. Pyrrha, with her flame blazing brighter, thrusts her hand forward, sending a scorching blast towards an advancing serpent. The serpent erupts into a burst of shimmering dust. Thoradin, with
With a wild grin, I set my sights on a brittle-looking crystal pillar. "Let's heat things up a bit," I shout, launching a fireball at the base of the pillar to collapse it onto a group of serpents.
I bellow a war cry and charge forward, swinging my hammer with all my might to shatter the nearest serpent into a spray of crystalline shards. Come on then, you glittering snakes!
With serpents closing in, I swiftly dart behind a chunk of floating crystal debris and ready a throwing knife. Let's see how they like a little surprise, I mutter, hurling the knife at the eye of the nearest serpent.
The only certainty in the abyss is death, I whisper ominously, extending my hand and casting bane on the nearest cluster of serpents to sap their strength.
As the combat reaches its zenith amidst the glittering expanse and swirling colors of the Astral Sea, the tide begins to turn in your favor. Pyrrha's fireball impacts the crystalline pillar with a violent explosion, sending chunks of crystal crashing down onto the serpents, reducing them to a fine, twinkling powder. Thoradin's hammer arcs through the air, connecting with the nearest serpent in a shattering blow, causing it to explode into a cloud of sparkling fragments. The dwarf's fierce roar echoes, empowering his allies. From the shadows, Wisp's blade flies true, embedding perfectly into the eye of a serpent. The creature writhes for a moment before collapsing into glistening dust. Seraph's incantation envelops the remaining serpents, their forms shuddering as the bane weakens them. Their otherwise deadly strikes falter, giving Thoradin and Pyrrha the perfect opportunity to finish them off with swift, precise attacks.
I see another large crystal formation looming above the battlefield. "Time to light up the night!" I exclaim with excitement, conjuring an inferno to weaken the structure, making it crash down onto any remaining serpents.
I scan the battlefield quickly, spotting a group of serpents hesitating under Seraph's curse. "Let's finish this!" I shout, charging forward with my shield raised high, aiming to bash through multiple serpents in a single, crushing blow.
I notice a cluster of serpents lurking near a narrow pathway. Time for a quick cleanup, I whisper, darting through the shadows to plant a trap that triggers a cascade of falling crystal shards onto them.
The veil between life and death grows thin, I intone hauntingly, brandishing my holy symbol to channel divine power into Bless, enhancing Pyra, Thoradin, and Wisp to ensure their strikes land true and deadly.